If you're wondering, do I really have enough to retire, or what's my real retirement number, or how much do I need to retire comfortably? This video is for you. Most people Google things like, how much do I need to retire? Or they play with a retirement calculator and hope that the number it spits out is right. But here's the problem. Those generic calculators almost never show you the three numbers that actually determine whether you have enough to retire. Number one, your true lifestyle spending number. Number two, your reliable retirement income number. And number three, your safe withdrawal rate number. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to calculate those three numbers for yourself so you can stop guessing, stop hoping, and finally answer, do I really have enough to retire? We're going to walk through a simple framework that goes much deeper than $1 million or 25x your expenses. We'll talk about how to estimate your real retirement spending, not the fake budget. We'll also talk about how to stack your guaranteed income sources, your Social Security, pension, annuities, and rental income, and how to use a realistic, safe withdrawal rate that's flexible instead of blindly following the trusted 4% rule you found online. So if you care about knowing your real retirement number, avoiding the mistake of retiring too early, and having confidence instead of anxiety, stick with me. But before we get into it, this is Brian. I've been a financial advisor for over 25 years, and I'm here to help you save smarter, invest better, and keep more. I'm also an author of the book Momentous Decisions, 7 Steps to Better Health, More Wealth, and a Richer Life, and a certified life and health coach. So let's get into it. Let's start with number one, your true lifestyle spending number. Your advisor might ask, so what do you think you'll spend in retirement? And most people, they throw out a guess. I don't know, maybe 70 to 80% of what I spend now. That guess can be dangerous. Your first critical number is your real lifestyle spending, not just bills, but the life that you actually want to live in retirement. Here's how to calculate it in 3 steps. Start with today's annual spending. Look at your last 12 months of bank and credit card statements. Add up your housing, your food, your utilities, transportation, travel, fun, giving, everything. Subtract the expenses that go away in retirement, commuting costs, work clothes, payroll taxes on your W-2 income, your savings, your big mortgage that might be paid off, and the new retirement expenses that will appear. More travel, hobbies, higher healthcare costs before Medicare, and after helping the kids or grandkids, home projects you've been putting off. Now you've got something real. For many of my clients, this ends up being higher than they expected, not lower. Number two, your reliable retirement income number. Next, we figure out how much is already covered by reliable income that isn't dependent on the stock market. Think of this as your retirement paycheck that shows up whether the market is up or down. This includes Social Security, pensions, annuity income, rental income that you're reasonably confident in. So let's give you an example. If you had Social Security for $32,000 per year, your spouse has $22,000 per year. You have a small pension of $10,000. That's $64,000 per year of reliable income. Now let's compare your lifestyle spending of $115,000. Your reliable income $64,000. That leaves a gap of $51,000. That $51,000 has to come from your savings and investments, your 401ks, IRAs, Roth, and taxable accounts. So this brings us to number 3, your safe withdrawal rate. Everyone loves to talk about the 4% rule. If you withdraw 4% from your portfolio each year, you're safe. But the truth is more nuanced. Markets change, inflation changes, your life changes. The third critical number is how much you can reasonably withdraw each year from your savings without running a high risk of running out of money. Let's start with a conservative range, maybe 3.5% to 4%, depending on your age, risk tolerance, and flexibility. We already know your portfolio needs to cover $51,000 with that portfolio gap. So we flip the math. If you use a 4% withdrawal assumption, the needed portfolio is $51,000 divided by 4%, which is $1.275 million. If you use a more conservative 3.5%, you need about $1.5 million. Now we can finally ask the real question. How much do you actually have invested for retirement today? And how does that compare to what these 3 numbers say you need? Now, in past episodes, I've talked about different scenarios: 3.5 to 4% flexible withdrawal, or the front loaded retirement of 5 to 6% withdrawals for the first 5 to 8 years. It all depends on when you retire. If you retire at 60 or 62, a 4 to 5% withdrawal for those first 5 to 8 years is perfectly reasonable. If you retire at 68 or 70, you can push your withdrawal rate for those first 5 to 8 years closer to 6 or 7%, as long as you're flexible with your withdrawals. The flexible withdrawal strategy means that you're going to reduce your income when the markets are down more than 15 or 20%. But when the markets are up 15 or 20%, you can increase it to the higher part of that range. So let's just pull this all together with the simple case study. Let's talk about a couple. I use Mark and Lisa a lot, both 62. They've saved $1.1 million between 401k, IRAs, and a brokerage account. They think they probably need $1 million to retire. Their goal is $100,000 per year lifestyle. We run the three numbers. Lifestyle spending, once we do the real math, it's not 100,000, it's 115,000. Reliable income at 67, combined Social Security of 60,000. The gap is 55,000 covered by investments. At 4%, the needed portfolio is 1.375 million. At 3.5%, the needed portfolio is 1.5 million. They're at 1.1 million now. So are they good? Maybe not yet, but here's the good news. Now we know how far off they are and which levers matter. Do they work 2 to 3 more years and let investments grow? Do they adjust their lifestyle to 100,000 instead of 115,000? Do they delay Social Security to increase their reliable income number? Or do they front load their retirement with a higher withdrawal rate for the first 5 to 8 years and be flexible with their withdrawal strategy? Again, a higher withdrawal rate works if you retire later. But if you retire at 60 or 62, a 4 to 5% withdrawal for those first 5 to 8 years, but being flexible, can work. But an 8% withdrawal when you retire at age 60, the probability of success is much, much lower because you have a lot longer time frame. This money needs to work through different market cycles and sequence of returns risk. But once you know these three numbers, your decisions become clarity, not guesswork. Most people don't know these three numbers. Work with an advisor, not just one that gives you glossy projections 30 years into the future. And they never walk you through your realistic lifestyle spending, your guaranteed income stack, your portfolio withdrawal math tied to a specific rule that everyone talks about. Without these, your fine is just a feeling, not a plan. As a fiduciary financial advisor, I want you to see exactly how these numbers work so you can ask smarter questions and push back when something doesn't add up. So here's how to calculate your own three numbers. You can do this for yourself. Write down your best estimate of your retirement spending in today's dollars. List all your reliable income sources and estimate what they'll be by each start age. Calculate the gap and divide by a withdrawal rate you're comfortable with. Maybe it's 3.5 or 4%. Maybe it's a 5 to 6% flexible withdrawal strategy for 5 to 8 years. Maybe it's 8% for 3 years and then drop down to 6. But being flexible is the key. Now, when you do all that, are you already there or on track to get there? If not, how big is the gap in actual dollars? What combination of saving more, working a bit longer, spending less, or claiming Social Security later closes that gap? That's real retirement planning. If this episode helped you see retirement a little bit clearer, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you could, drop a comment below with your age range and whether you want me to cover $750,000, $1 million, or $2 million examples in future episodes. If you're worried your number doesn't work yet, remember, knowing the truth early is empowering. It gives you time to make better decisions, not just about your money, but about your health, your work, and your life. Once again, this is Brian, the Wealth Decisions Guy. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you next week.